While the criminal tortured me, cutting into my flesh piece by piece before finally killing me, my father, a renowned investigator, and my mother, the city's chief medical examiner, were smiling proudly beside my brother Liam at his competition. The man who was hurting me wasn't killing at random. He was taking revenge on my father, the same man who had arrested him years ago. As I bled out on the floor, my body shaking uncontrollably, he sliced out my tongue so I couldn't scream. Then he picked up my phone and called my dad. My father answered. He said only one thing before hanging up. Whatever it is, your brother's competition is the most important thing today. The criminal burst into dark laughter. Looks like I grabbed the wrong person, he sneered. Guess they love their real son more. Later, when my parents finally arrived at the crime scene, they were visibly shaken by the brutality. But they didn't recognize the mangled corpse lying before them as their own son. My body had been dumped inside an abandoned construction building. The worker who found me vomited so violently he could barely speak when he called the police. My parents rushed to the scene straight from Liam's celebration, still dressed in their party clothes. The investigator on site frowned and gestured for them to put on masks. Even with all their experience, my father, a top-tier consultant for the Chicago PD, and my mother, the city's leading medical examiner, this scene rattled them. The heat made everything worse. My corpse was bloated. My face had been beaten into a pulpy, bloody mess, completely unrecognizable. Wounds covered every inch of my body. My head was barely attached to my neck by a thin shred of flesh. The stench of rot choked the air. Mom closed her eyes, inhaled deeply, then pulled on her gloves. She knelt beside my body and began her examination, her eyes filled with a kind of pity she had never once shown me when I was alive. She gently removed the blood-stained ring from my finger. I had made identical rings for our entire family. I remembered how they scolded me when Liam's ring didn't fit. We know you're doing this to bully your brother, they had said. You're always jealous of Liam, even though he's the one who deserves everything. Even though I was their biological son, Liam had always mattered more. Still, deep down, I had hoped they would recognize the ring, that it would mean something. Mom didn't even hesitate. She passed it to her assistant. Bag it as evidence. I shouldn't have hoped. I should have known. I never really existed in their hearts. Chloe, my sister, once told me they had only adopted Liam because they couldn't find me after I was abducted. She said I had always been their most beloved son. But when I finally came home, it didn't feel like home. I felt like an outsider, like a cuckoo chick placed in the wrong nest. After surveying the scene, Dad asked, "What's the situation with the body?" Mom peeled off her gloves and rubbed her temples. Male, early 20s. Preliminary cause of death appears to be throat slitting, likely after prolonged torture. Extremely brutal. This will make headlines. We need to solve this quickly. Dad lit a cigarette, anxiety etched deep into his face. Even in death, I was just another case to them. A problem. A complication. The crime scene investigator warned them. The killer hasn't been caught yet. Make sure your family stays careful. You've got 2 kids. Don't let them go out alone at night. Mom replied flatly. Liam listens. Nathan doesn't. I can't control him. The investigator, an old friend, gave Dad a knowing look. Your shoulder acting up again? Dad waved him off. It's nothing. Use that patch Nathan got you, the man said, then paused. Realization dawned on his face. The kid you call difficult is the one who worries about your health. He patted Dad's back gently. Be good to Nathan. He's your real son. Dad shook his head. Liam had his tournament the other day. He begged Nathan to come watch. But what did Nathan do? Ignored him. Liam was crushed. Only got 3rd place. And now Nathan's been missing for days. Who knows where he ran off to this time? He sighed heavily. Kids you don't raise properly never turn out right. Hearing my father blame me felt like falling into a frozen lake. Dad. Mom. It wasn't that I didn't want to come home. I physically couldn't. I was already gone. The ungrateful brat they complained about had died while they were cheering for Liam on the tennis court. During the later briefing, the room fell silent as Mom finished her autopsy report. My face was too damaged to identify. The abandoned building wasn't the primary crime scene, complicating everything. Check surrounding areas for witnesses, Dad ordered. And get DNA to the lab immediately. Mom gently touched my ruined hair. She used to call Liam's hair soft and precious. I remembered how Liam would secretly wipe his head in disgust when she turned away. That was the day I slapped him. Dad had shaved my head as punishment. Now Mom's fingers trembled as they brushed my corpse's hair. To die like this, she whispered. His family must be devastated. A bitter smile formed on my ghostly lips. My family? They'd probably celebrate. Maybe only Chloe would cry. Mom's hands moved down my back and stopped over an old burn scar, the one I got during my abduction. I remembered the day she saw it when I changed clothes. What happened to your back? She had frowned. That's disgusting. Don't scare Liam. Now she murmured softly, not from this incident. An assistant suddenly gasped. Dr. Anderson, there's something in the stomach. Mom's eyes widened. Paper. She carefully lifted the acid-soaked fragment. Let's hope the lab can analyze it. A phone rang. Liam's ringtone. Mom ripped off her gloves and stepped outside. Hi, honey. What's wrong? Her voice softened instantly. Mommy's working. I'll be there tomorrow. Your dad and I will both cheer you on. She paused. Nathan's away on business. He can't make it. Liam's voice came through sweet and soft. I love you, Mom. I still wish Nathan could come. I know I'd win if he did. It's okay, though, he doesn't like me. Probably because I stole your love. He always sets me up. Mom's tone sharpened. You are our precious boy. Nathan steals money, bullies you. He's not worthy of being my son. She added coldly, even if I have to drag him in a wheelchair, I'll make sure he watches you play. Liam laughed. Dad told me to be careful. Can you remind Nathan too? Mom sighed. As long as Nathan doesn't drop dead in front of me, I don't care where he goes. Later, Chloe called. When does your trip end? Nathan's waiting for you to come to his competition. Mom cut her off. Liam is your real brother. Nathan was raised outside. He's full of bad habits. He's not an Anderson. Chloe's voice trembled. Don't always believe Liam. Nathan is kind. He works so hard. Mom scoffed. If he doesn't show up, tell him never to come home. She hung up. Dad returned. Is the body hard to identify? Mom muttered, no. It's Nathan again, probably crying to Chloe. Dad tried calling me. Straight to voicemail. Ungrateful brat. Should have left him lost. The investigator frowned. You searched for Nathan for a year when he was abducted. Why treat him like a stranger now? Because the son they found was me. Awkward. Nervous. Wearing patched clothes and worn-out shoes. When I returned at 15, they were comforting a crying Liam. I stood at the doorway, gripping my duffel bag. Liam smirked. Who's this beggar? Their faces darkened, not at him. At me. An officer later reported. No missing person reports filed. Murmurs spread. What kind of parents don't report a missing child? My soul felt strangled by grief. They mourned parents who didn't care, while never once worrying about me. The receipt from my stomach turned out to be from a charm shop. The killer had mocked me. Buying gifts for your parents? They'd throw them away. When my parents arrived at the store, the owner nodded slowly. And everything finally began to fall apart. A young man bought these some time ago, the shop owner said quietly. He told me his parents had dangerous jobs. He wanted them protected. But he never came back to collect them. He didn't answer his phone either. She reached beneath the counter and retrieved 2 small red pouches. They're meant for safety, peace, happiness, long life, she explained softly. Dad took them into his hands, stunned, as if they weighed far more than they should have. Do you still have the security footage? He asked. The owner nodded. That young man, he was polite, quiet. He spent a long time choosing, wanting the perfect ones for his parents. I remember him clearly. When the footage began to play, the room fell silent. Everyone stared at the screen. Mom's voice cracked. That boy, why does he look like Nathan? The owner nodded again. That's the name he left on the order. Nathan. Dad's face darkened. His voice grew tight as he struggled to stay calm. Maybe it's just someone with the same name. Nathan's probably hiding somewhere, laughing at us. Ma'am, are you working with him? Are you trying to deceive the police? Before the tension could break, a phone rang. Mom answered, her hands trembling. Dr. Anderson. The voice on the other end said urgently. We have the DNA results. Mom froze. Her hand shot out, gripping Dad's arm so tightly her nails dug into his skin. The victim is your son, the voice continued. Nathan. Mom collapsed. She kept repeating his name over and over, as if saying it enough times might undo reality. Nathan, how could it be him? Dad held her as she broke down, his own body stiff with shock. Detective, another officer said quietly, we've located the primary crime scene. It's a house in the rundown neighborhood near the abandoned building. Dad made a decision instantly. We're going. The lab must be wrong. In the car, Mom kept dialing my number again and again. Dad stared straight ahead, his hands clenched on the steering wheel. Don't panic. Maybe Nathan went to the lab himself. Maybe he's part of this. Maybe he's just trying to scare us. But deep down he knew better. That neighborhood was rough, full of people without IDs. People who didn't fear police. When they arrived, the stench of decay hit them like a slap. Blood stained the walls. Sheets were soaked dark. It was where I had died. Even now, remembering it makes my soul tremble. The day I was taken, Liam had called me. I hurt my leg, he said. It might affect tomorrow's match. Even though I didn't like him, I didn't want Mom and Dad to worry. So I went to the address he gave me. The moment I arrived, something smashed into the back of my head. When I woke up, I was tied down, blindfolded. A man I didn't recognize stood across from me. And Liam. I tricked him into coming. Liam hissed at the man. You promised to let me go. I still have to deal with those two old fools at home. The man grinned. Shut up. As Liam turned to leave, he sneered at me. From now on, we never met. Don't worry, I wish Nathan were dead. Then he walked away. The man turned toward me. My confusion and terror must have been obvious. He gouged out my eyes, stuffed a rag into my mouth as I screamed in agony. You don't recognize me? He said calmly. Your parents arrested my brother. All he did was kill his wife. Because of them, he died. Then came the blade. Cutting. Slashing. Endless pain. At one point he muttered, almost disappointed, I waited years only to grab the wrong one. If your brother hadn't told me your parents adopted him to protect you, he continued, I wouldn't have even known you existed. He tortured me all night. I couldn't see. I couldn't scream. Only the warmth of my blood told me I was still alive. Then my phone rang. The man laughed. Your dad's calling. Guess they care after all. But when the call connected, I heard Dad's irritated voice. Nathan, it's your brother's match. How dare you not show up? Mom's voice followed. Ungrateful brat. Liam lost points because of you. I whimpered. Tried to scream. With no tongue, no sound came out. Before hanging up, Dad muttered coldly. He's just playing dead again. We never should have taken him back. Now Mom stood in that house. The place where I died. Her legs gave out. She collapsed onto the floor, sobbing for the first time in her life. For me, the same woman who cried over the tiniest scrape on Liam's hand had never cried for me. Until now. Dad forced himself to breathe, pulled on gloves, and picked up a blood-stained notebook. Inside were photos of Liam, his schedules, his routines. The killer had been stalking him, but I was the one who died. Dad's chest heaved. His face twisted. He clutched his heart. And for the first time, I heard my father cry. Mom. Dad. I whispered, though they couldn't hear me. You always said you wished you'd never found me. Now your wish came true. I can never come back. Why aren't you happy? Even the crime scene investigator wiped his eyes. Dave. Sarah, maybe you should return to the station. We'll update you. But Mom didn't move. She touched the bloodstain on the floor, gently. Nathan, he must have been in so much pain. An officer nearby broke into sobs. Back at the station, the lab technician handed Dad the full report. My condolences, Detective Anderson. Dad's pupils shrank. He read the report again and again. How is this possible?" he whispered. The technician placed a hand on his shoulder. "You saw the scene. There's no faking this." Suddenly, Mom lunged forward and tore the report apart. Then she froze. She remembered something. She reached for the ring taken from my body. Tears splashed onto the evidence bag. Inside the ring were the letters NB. Everyone assumed they were initials. They weren't. They stood for Nathan Anderson, the name I'd dreamed of having since I came home. Dad helped Mom to her feet. They walked slowly, broken, into the autopsy room. There lay my shattered body. A sound escaped Dad's throat. Low, raw animal. They stared at me. Why did they look so pained? Wasn't this what they always wanted? Mom's trembling hand brushed the scar on my back. "Nathan, how could we find you like this?" she whispered. "You were so skinny when you first came home. Like a little beggar. I told your dad we needed to fatten you up." Her voice broke. "How did things become this way? I hated how sneaky you were. How you bullied Liam. If only you'd never been taken away, leaving like this. Do you want us to live forever with this guilt?" Even Dad's eyes were red, fists clenched. "Nathan," he whispered, "I didn't hate you. I was strict because I wanted to teach you right from wrong. If I had known that was our last phone call, I never would have forced you. You had a math competition coming up, didn't you? Mom and Dad would have gone with you. Just wake up." I tried so hard not to cry, but it was too late. Too late to breathe. Too late to speak. Too late to call the Mom and Dad one more time. They always believed Liam without hesitation. Every time they chose his words over mine, the fragile thread connecting us frayed, until it finally snapped. From the moment I returned, Liam never hid his hostility. He isolated me at school. Bugs in my desk, glue on my chair, petty tricks. Then he'd turn innocent. "Brother's such a loner," he'd pout. "Does he not like me?" Mom and Dad would sigh. "Nathan, you're the older brother. Take care of Liam. You were gone 10 years. Liam was the one with us." They forgot that during those 10 years, I was living in hell. Being found should have been my miracle. I shouldn't have wanted love that was never meant for me. Chloe once suggested changing my name officially. Liam stopped it. Just yesterday, I saw him sneak into Mom and Dad's room and take something. Later, Dad found Mom's necklace in my bag. "You don't deserve to be an Anderson," he snarled. No one listened to my explanation. When I won a math award, I finally saw approval in their eyes. It meant everything. The next day, Liam came home soaked, threw himself into Mom's arms, and glanced at me victoriously. That night, Dad beat me. If not for Chloe, I might not have survived. Liam grew bolder. He made me his ball boy, hit balls at me on purpose, then blamed me. In their eyes, I was hopeless. When Chloe heard I was dead, she rushed home. Mom and Dad sat hollow-eyed. Liam sobbed beside them. "Brother was murdered," he cried. "He offended people." Dad suddenly roared, "Enough. The suspect has been identified." The truth crushed them. They fainted. Liam's face twitched. "Why would he kill brother?" he asked nervously. Mom murmured weakly, "It's our fault." Chloe scoffed. "Look at him. Does he look sad?" Liam clung to Mom. "I'll take care of you for brother." Mom held him gratefully. I felt nothing, only emptiness. Dad watched Liam carefully. Mom whispered, "From now on, Mom only has you." Liam comforted her, while tapping impatiently on his phone. Mom noticed a red mark on his arm. "Liam, are you hurt?" The mark on Liam's arm was from where I had scratched him, when he grabbed my chin and shoved me. But Liam reacted quickly. "Hit by a tennis ball," he said casually. "It'll be gone by tomorrow." He pulled his sleeve down, hiding it, though his movements were stiff with guilt. Mom looked at him for a long moment, thoughtful, as if something was bothering her, but she said nothing. Soon after, Mom and Dad returned to work. The killer was still at large. Dad clenched his teeth and vowed, "I'll catch that monster. I'll bring peace to my son's spirit." The department mobilized immediately, but the killer remained elusive. It was Chloe, always observant, who sensed something was wrong. Her instincts as a reporter kicked in. She noticed someone lingering near the house. She questioned security. checked footage, reviewed logs. And then she found it. The milk delivery man. Many killers returned to the scene of the crime. Victor was no exception. He wanted to watch my parents grieve, to savor their pain, to drink it in. But his arrogance betrayed him. It led directly to his capture. Victor showed no fear as Chloe helped escort Mom and Dad into the interrogation room. He sat there calmly, rattling the silver cuffs around his wrists. A malicious grin spread across his face. "Got a smoke?" he asked lazily. Dad slammed the table. "You think this is your house?" he roared. "You murdered my son, and you sit there smiling?" Victor met Mom's furious gaze without flinching. His grin widened. "Detective Anderson, Dr. Anderson, the power couple," he mocked. "When you arrested my brother, did you ever imagine this day would come?" Mom screamed, her voice shredded raw. "Your brother killed someone. He deserved to pay. What did our Nathan ever do?" Victor's eyes lit up. He loved their pain. "His only crime," Victor said slowly, savoring every word, "was being your son." He leaned forward. "The last thing you said to him was that he was playing dead, that you should never have acknowledged him." He smiled wider. "He probably died with his eyes open. Wouldn't know though, I gouged them out long before that." Mom gasped, choking on horror. "I cut his face over and over," Victor continued, almost conversationally, trying to make him curse you. "But he wouldn't. Kept saying you were his heroes." Victor sneered. "I got sick of hearing it, so I cut out his tongue." "You monster!" Mom shrieked. "You don't deserve to live." Victor laughed. The louder their grief became, the more he enjoyed it. His twisted laughter echoed through the room, stabbing into their hearts like knives. Mom trembled violently, biting her lip to keep from screaming. "We failed Nathan," she choked. "We failed you. We didn't do our job as parents." Dad wrapped an arm around her, his eyes squeezed shut in agony. "Nathan died because of us," he whispered. "It's our fault." As they were let out, their once proud figures looked small, shrunken, defeated. Victor leaned forward and whispered like a demon, "Guess why I let your other son live." Later, when Liam spotted them in the audience at his tennis final, a smug smile spread across his face. He knew. With me gone, he was now the undisputed favorite. During the break, he happily linked arms with Dad. "Mom, Dad, Chloe, I'm so glad you came." He stood on the podium, beaming, medal held high. "I couldn't have done this without my family," he told reporters sweetly. "I hope I'll always be my parents' pride and my sister's beloved brother." I watched in sick disbelief. His success was built on my death. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Didn't his brother die recently? So tragic, but wow, he's talented. Heard the brother was useless. Killed over a girl, apparently. Liam heard the murmurs. His smile widened as if he were bathing in victory. Then several officers approached him. His smile froze. "You've got the wrong person," Liam protested. "I'm the champion here." Chloe stepped forward. "No, we've got the right person. Being a champion doesn't hide a rotten heart." In the biggest moment of his life, Liam's mask was ripped away. "What evidence do you have?" he gasped. "Mom, Dad, help me. Chloe's gone crazy." Mom looked confused, her voice trembling. "What's going on?" "Victor gave us a recording pen," Chloe said calmly. "We heard everything." She continued, steady and clear. "Liam told Nathan to die. Called you both old fools." Victor had laughed while revealing where the recorder was hidden. "You wanted to watch your beloved fake son destroy your real one," he had said. "So I helped." Liam's face drained of color. He collapsed to his knees. Mom broke down, hitting him again and again. Seeing Liam show no remorse, Dad asked quietly, "After we adopted you, we treated you as our own. Even when Nathan came back, we never stopped loving you. Why?" Liam's defeated expression twisted with rage. "Didn't you just treat me as Nathan's stand-in?" he screamed. "I refused to let you play happy family in front of me. You were fools not trusting your real son." Chloe sighed. "Mom and Dad never wronged you. They treated you better than Nathan. But your heart was twisted. You saw filth everywhere." Liam was taken away, his championship medals still hanging around his neck. On the day he was sentenced, Mom, Dad, and Chloe placed flowers at my grave. In prison, the inmates hated Liam. They tortured him, forced him to crawl. Fetch, they sneered. Tennis champion? Huh? At home, Dad spooned soup toward Mom's lips. Open up, honey. Her eyes were blank, empty. She was gone, mentally shattered. The adopted son she loved had destroyed her real one. Dad had lost all passion for police work. My son died because of a criminal I arrested, he murmured. That wound will never heal. He gently wiped drool from Mom's chin. We were wrong, he said quietly. When Nathan came back, we shouldn't have been so harsh. We should have cared more. Now he's gone. You're broken. And I can't wear this badge anymore. Mom stared vacantly, fiddling with the ring I had given her. Nathan has to do his best in the competition, she murmured. Mommy will go with him. Outside the hospital room, Chloe stood with her luggage, ready to leave the city forever. Nathan, if you could see this, she whispered, would you forgive them? Unable to bear that I had died because of our parents' choices, Chloe resigned. She didn't want to stay near them anymore. As she walked away, I looked one last time at my gray-haired parents in that cold white room. I sniffled, a silent ghost in a world that had forgotten me. Mom, Dad, if there is a next life, if I become your son again, please don't lose me. My soul began to fade. My vision blurred, and in the distance I heard soft, familiar voices. Nathan, come home for dinner. Chloe smiled gently, took my hand, and tapped my nose like she used to. Our Nathan worked so.